In Tristan's view, even if he lived another 50 years, he doubted he could ever reach Charlie's current level. This man's medical skills were beyond comprehension. And even more amazing, he could create such a powerful, magical medicine. He was practically a god. Tristan's granddaughter, Fiona, was blushing. Just moments before, she had doubted Charlie, but now she was completely convinced. Charlie said calmly to Tristan, "Mr. Finch, the medicine you bought is helping with your internal injuries, but it's missing a few key ingredients. It's only about 20% effective. Just wait. I'll give you a complete pill, and once you take it, your old injuries will be healed for good." "Mr. Wade, thank you." Tristan was overcome with gratitude, kneeling and clasping his hands, his eyes welling with tears. Fiona also knelt beside her grandfather, blushing as she said to Charlie, "Mr. Wade, thank you." Tristan added, "Mr. Wade, you may not be from the Southlight holistic medicine community, but I've been a part of it for decades and have built up quite a network. I can never repay your kindness, but if you ever need any medicinal materials or need anything done, please, just ask me." Charlie gave a slight nod. Don't be fooled into thinking Tristan was just some holistic doctor. The Finch family had practiced medicine for generations, and he was considered the top doctor in all of Southlight District. His connections and resources for medicinal materials were probably not as extensive as the Smith family's. Still, with the Finch family's help, it would be much easier for Charlie to find the medicinal materials he needed for his cultivation in the future. Just then, Cedric Smith, who hadn't moved at all, suddenly coughed, and his eyes flew open. Everyone's attention snapped to him. What they saw left them completely stunned. Cedric Smith, who had been unconscious, sat up in bed on his own. The middle-aged man from the Smith family held his breath, terrified that this was all just an illusion. The doctors had already declared the case hopeless, saying the old man wouldn't survive more than a few days. Honor had specially brought in the renowned Dr. Tristan, but after Tristan's granddaughter administered an injection, it only brought a little color back to the old man's face. They couldn't do anything more for Cedric's underlying condition. He had been thinking that they should start preparing for the funeral, and then Charlie had gone up silently and given the old man an injection. And he never expected it. Charlie had said the old man would wake up in half an hour, and he woke up in exactly half an hour. What's more, Cedric's eyes were clear, his complexion strong, and his face had a healthy, rosy glow that was much better than before he fell ill. "This was truly amazing," Tristan exclaimed. "Mr. Wade said half an hour, and not a minute was wasted." The Smith family members were amazed. A genius doctor. He really was a genius doctor. The middle-aged man from the Smith family rushed forward and asked, "Dad, how are you feeling?" Cedric looked at his beloved son with a complex expression. His eyes filled with the joy of someone who had survived a disaster. He exclaimed, "I thought I was dead. I really didn't expect to wake up again." The middle-aged man from the Smith family pointed to Charlie and said excitedly, "Dad, you have Mr. Wade to thank for saving you this time." Cedric turned his head to look at Charlie. Seeing how young he was, he couldn't help but be a little startled. Then he recovered and said, "The life-saving grace of this genius doctor is something I will never forget." Charlie smiled slightly and said, "It was nothing." Then, pointing to Tristan and his granddaughter Fiona beside him, Charlie said, "Mr. Finch and his granddaughter did a lot to save you. The credit isn't mine alone." Tristan was surprised that Charlie was still giving him and his granddaughter credit. He was grateful and said humbly, "Mr. Smith, Mr. Wade is just being modest. The truth is, you only made it through this crisis because of him. Without him, we probably wouldn't have been able to wake you up." Cedric nodded but said politely, "I've heard all about your reputation as a brilliant doctor, so please, don't be so modest. In any case, it was kind of you just to come here." After he finished speaking, he looked at Charlie and said seriously, "Mr. Wade, I'll never forget that you saved my life. If there's anything the Smith family can do for you, just say the word. Charlie smiled slightly and said, "You're too kind, Mr. Smith." Since it was getting late, Charlie said, "Mr. Smith, you're recovering from a serious illness, and you shouldn't overexert yourself. You should get some rest. I'll be leaving now." Cedric quickly said, "Mr. Charlie, how much do I owe you for saving my life?" "Whatever the fee, I'll pay double." Charlie said casually, "There's no fee. I came here for Warnia. I was just helping out a friend." Warnia was stunned when she heard this. Charlie was giving her all the credit in front of her grandfather. After all, her grandfather was the one who decided how the Smith family assets were divided and what role everyone would play in the family business. If she could earn his favor, she might even become the future head of the Smith family, something she had always hoped for. Charlie had just given her a huge amount of credit, and it felt like she was one step closer to her goal. Cedric couldn't help but look at his granddaughter, Warnia. He nodded slightly and said, "Okay, very good. Warnia, you brought your grandfather back from the brink. Make sure you don't treat Mr. Wade poorly." Warnia bowed quickly and said seriously, "Grandfather, don't worry. I'll be sure to repay Mr. Wade properly." "Good." Cedric nodded, satisfied, and laughed heartily. Honor, standing not far away, had an extremely ugly expression on his face. Warnia had completely stolen the credit, which meant his own position would be much more difficult from now on. Charlie didn't stay at the Smith house for much longer. Seeing that Cedric was well on his way to recovery, he said he should be going. So, Cedric had a member of the Smith family personally escort him to the door. Tristan also decided to leave with his granddaughter. He told Charlie that he and his granddaughter would find a hotel in Orris Hill for the next few days, and that he would contact him once the medicine was finished. Tristan was grateful, watching respectfully as Charlie got into Warnia's car. Afterward, Warnia drove Charlie back to the city. On the way, Warnia said to him, "Mr. Wade, thank you so much for today." Charlie smiled slightly. "It was nothing," he said. "You don't need to be so polite. Besides, I might need Miss Smith's help in the future." Warnia quickly replied, "Mr. Wade, you can count on it. If you ever need anything, I would go through fire and water for you." After a moment, Warnia glanced at Charlie's profile and asked tentatively, "Mr. Wade, I was wondering if you might have time to grab a drink somewhere." She had a million questions about Charlie, mysteries she was desperate to solve. She also felt a powerful magnetic pull toward him, an irresistible attraction that she couldn't help. She wanted to get closer to him, to learn the secrets he kept hidden away. Charlie checked the time. It wasn't too late, and honestly, it had been a while since he'd really enjoyed a good drink. He nodded and said, "All right, you pick the place." A look of pure joy spread across Warnia's face. She said quickly, "I know a bar. It's a great spot." With that, she hit the gas and drove quickly toward the city center. In the heart of downtown, there was a bar called Sunny. Warnia pulled up to the entrance, handed her keys to the valet, and led Charlie up the steps. As soon as a waiter saw her, he immediately said respectfully, "Miss Smith, good evening. Will you be taking your usual table?" Warnia nodded, and the waiter replied at once, "Please, follow me." The first floor of the bar was lively, with a dance floor and a DJ, but the waiter led them straight to the second floor. On the second floor, right by the railing overlooking the main floor, was a secluded table. From there, you could watch the lively scene below without being bothered, and the music was just a low hum, making it a quiet spot in the middle of all the noise. As soon as Warnia sat down, she said to the waiter, "2 bottles of the best Screaming Eagle from '92. "Of course, Miss Smith." The waiter bowed respectfully and quickly brought over 2 bottles of red wine. The wine was opened, and a portion was poured into a decanter. The waiter started to wait by the table, but Warnia told him, Go on downstairs and let your boss know not to seat any other guests on the second floor tonight." "Yes, Miss Smith." The waiter bowed respectfully and left. Charlie asked curiously, "Do you own a piece of this place?" Warnia smiled slightly and said, "This bar was opened by a member of a branch of the Smith family." Charlie nodded and said with a smile, "The Smith family is really something else." Warnia gave a small, self-deprecating laugh. "We do all right. Here in Oris Hill, in our little corner of the world, there isn't really another family that can compete. But once you leave Oris Hill, we're nothing special. In a place like Eastcliff, there are families with way more power than the Smith family. A huge family like the Wade family is worth dozens of ours combined. All we can do is look up to them." Charlie smiled but didn't say a word. The Wade family? Wasn't that his family? It was just that he still hadn't figured out if he wanted to go back. To be honest, his life was pretty good right now. Not only did he have the Emgrand Group and tens of billions in cash, but he also had the infinite possibilities that the mystic scriptures gave him. In contrast, if he went back to the Wade family home, he would be subject to so many rules and expectations. How could he ever be this free? Just then, Warnia poured a glass of red wine for Charlie and herself. She handed one to him, smiled, and said, "Here's to you, Mr. Wade." The lights on the second floor were dim, and the waiter had placed 2 candles on their table. Warnia's face glowed, looking soft and pink in the candlelight. Charlie took the wine glass. He looked at Warnia, who seemed to blush in the warm light, and said with a smile, "Miss Smith, I believe every drink should have a reason behind it. You know, something we want to celebrate or something we want to remember or forget. Something we're upset or happy about. So, before we drink this first glass, we should say why we're drinking it. What do you think?"
Hey amazing viewers, it's Charlie here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 11% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 89% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.